Uh, okay. Hello. Ali. Yes, I believe so. Now let's see how that is going to go. God. Okay, so the runoff does seem to have come down to gods. Grab that, go back here, and we say, next vote. Yeah. Say, blah, 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 blah. Gods, my god, is trying to murder me. Okay. Next turn. This is the current state of the boat. I believe it is. The improved magical soup looks like it will be next. I believe it's major action. Do that. What's this? Oh yeah, I wanted to look at this. Ah, so weird elephant people. Okay, 1 second. I seem to have done something wrong. Because my body is punishing me for existing today. Ugh. Yeah, The Hague is the International Criminal Court is in The Hague, I believe, if I remember correctly. Vaguely, there is the Phoenix Summit, which is the meeting between the big 6 nations as well as a bunch of other observers. But that's only for the old empire. Remember, you got invited there one time by the Forest King. Major action, it's time to decisively deal with the mutation process. Potion. Despite everything that the Orchid Court has been throwing at you, until they start fielding, until the foreign mages take to the field properly themselves, it is unlikely that they I hate this. Okay, there we go. Foreign mages can take the field properly. It's unlikely that they. Why is my? I did that. In that they will ever have a qualitative advantage over own forces. Their solution to this appears to be through the use of some I need to see something. There has to be a better way to anchor these. So, the solution appears to be through the use of the mutagenic potions. Create disposable troops powerful enough that the quantitative advantage such a thing represents is actually meaningful in the war. For all the attacks you have fended off so far, the actual number of orchid force that you have defeated is relatively minimal, with only a few limited engagements to your name. For all of the attacks you've fended off so far, the actual number of defeated is relative, or a few engagements that dealt with their human forces. Which we either need to force them to make use of their human force them to make use of their human armies, or you need to is it force them to make use of their armies, and you need to make sure that you are able to Ooh, what happened? Okay. Halfway. Oh. Actually, not terrible. I don't know, probably 2 hours. That's kind of been the pattern while the guests have been here. So, yeah. Honestly, I think that it might have been better if I decided to do alternate days, but um the quest doesn't really work like that, so but yeah, they were actually originally going to leave tomorrow. Was it tomorrow or day after? Today's Wednesday. Yeah, so they was originally going to leave tomorrow, but now it's been moved to a little while later. There's been some stuff that's come up, so yeah. Yeah, I'll make sure to go on until 8 at the very least. Going to make sure we need to have a better way of dealing with these transforms. Um, hmm. At the moment, that the latter is probably. You don't yet have enough information. Hmm. Uh. You don't yet have enough information on the state of the. You don't yet have enough information. On the state of on the plans and movements of the that you feel comfortable forcing an attack on their territory. Um, um, But even if you did, a means of dealing with the, creatures they create with their potions, would be, would still be quite if they attempt to use the creatures as a defensive measure. Given what you have learned, do you think that you might have decent options for working towards such a thing? Magical knowledge, artifice, etheric workings, land of arcane secrets, you got a buff to your magical knowledge, right? If I remember correctly. So if I take a look at mysterious concoctions, which was the thing here, your magical knowledge and artifice got bumped. So if I check this, it should be 32.7 and 27.0. Yep, 27.0, 32.7. Because the potion thing isn't technically potion working the way that, like, if you want to think about it that way, like the traditional fantasy style potion making where you have magical ingredients and you make it into a thing, that is a lot closer to what you already do. And that's what like Ryomaru's Fey Feast and all of those abilities are. What the foreigners do is more like binding a spell to a liquid so that it is applied to the person who drinks that liquid. Does that make sense? So it's technically a form of enchanting. A really, really weird form of enchanting. So yeah. Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna do a thing. If I copy the post, the thing here. Where's Gen 2? Yeah, Gen 2. Copy path. And I do this in PowerShell. Hey, that just works without me having to deal with the current shitty ass state of oh wait, no, I can't do that. Oh, that's right. I need to gods, I hate how freaking janky that is. And then dot slash gen2.exe. Will that work? Okay, so now yeah, that's correct. It's running the distribution calculations. It's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 2,500 or so, 2,500 or so. Yeah. So then we pop into here, edit. Paradise 4,800. Good. Okay. Oh, that is quite unfortunate. You only had like a 4% chance of getting 2 successes instead of 4. So instead of 3 or 4. Uh, 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 yes. You got the buffs here. But yeah, like the actual spread for the calculations, if I do the PowerShell thing again. So if I drop this in here, you can see here that the distribution has it at less than a 40% chance of you rolling below 6,000, which is 2 successes. And a good portion of that is going to be because you have more dice in magical knowledge in that one. But yeah. I think if I redid the calculations for, say, with the old numbers for magical knowledge, it would be significantly lower. Uh, No, that isn't a failure. So you still succeeded once, and each of these had a 40% chance of getting, say, 40% chance of one success versus two. So what this means in this particular situation is, yes, you have a version of the potion that is pretty decent, but there will, like, it won't be the equivalent of you can hold, so you can just like gas an area and force everybody in it to revert themselves. What I've been thinking about kind of how to do it. Yeah, I've been thinking about how to do it, and I think I'm going to go with, this is like a healing dart that you can shoot into people, and like that is the level of concentration that you need to achieve. It's not the kind of thing you can just gas people with, but you can like lace weapons with it. You can use it in darts. If you force people to drink it, the magic will get purged from their systems. You start with the basics. You know that in order for the individual to survive any, like the wall posters, yeah, you can totally do another chance, so another action to upgrade them. But yeah, 1 second, it is. Oh, okay. I'm a big fan of these posters by Overly Sarcastic Productions. I have this one. And I'm thinking about getting a couple of others. But yeah, I like art in the form of posters. I'm actually kind of pissed because I got my posters mounted a little while ago, and I didn't realize that the place I went to literally fucking staples them to wooden boards. I thought that they were sane and that they just placed like they put down a wooden board and put a plastic coating over it. But no, apparently, rather than just, you know, going with this like obvious option, they decided that, oh, okay, no, we are going to bloody staple this to a wooden backing, and that is how we make this displayable. Yikes. So it is guaranteed to be effective on the rock transformation. You will effectively have a pretty decent luck roll of it interacting well with any other mutagenic effects. But yeah, you need to think about what your intentions for the poster are. That sucks. Any sort of transformation under this particular approach to magic, they need to be infused with the appropriately express element water to grant their forms the fluidity necessary to undergo a change without dying without ripping themselves apart in the process. Mm. That part, you can largely replicate from an understanding of so from what you have been able to parse from the potions that you have already captured. However, uh, 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 yikes. Let's see. However, that's where the easier part of this particular challenge can be. You need some way of urging the earth aspected energies that guide and power and shape the trans, allowing the host to take on those additional um uh, 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 Exams are always a huge pain in the ass. Take on those desired traits. You still aren't Saintman. Still aren't. You. Takes you a while to land on something viable. Something viable. You still struggle a little. So you still face some difficulties in binding too many disparate magical aspects together. So you focus on the Still face some difficulties in binding too many disparate magical aspects together, so you focus on delivering the. So you focus on various expressions of water. Your first tries with cleanliness and washing as attempts to as aspects you can call, so you could easily envision don't go well. Though they while you do manage to create I generally like movie posters where it isn't just a bunch of floating faces. I think I like it when it's sort of like a scene. I think Tintin movie. So the Adventures of Tintin movie poster is actually a really good one in my opinion, where you can see everything going on and it looks nice and you get this sense of action and everything that comes in very cleanly, and it just doesn't have weird random floating faces. There's also this one, which is like that, which is nice, even if his face looks a little weird. But yeah, these sorts of very active ones. You're talking about the one with the mirror thing, right? Yeah, that one's fine. Especially if you want to go for a more suspenseful theme. And then Jurassic World. I mean, I guess so. The Jurassic World, like this one's okay. Feels kind of. It doesn't make the dinosaur feel big enough. Oh, the one that he's on a motorcycle. You're talking about this one here? Okay, cheers. But I don't know, feels blurry. He looks a little odd. I don't know. This feels weird. Like this has like a weird, uncanny valley feeling to me. Well, you do manage to create five potions. Testing them using captured samples of the mutagenic potion doesn't result in what you expect. And instead seems to create and instead causes the doesn't deal with the primary earth infusion, but instead clears up some of the unrelated magical dross that the potion has left behind. Perhaps if refined, you could use it to permit the usage of other potions more rapidly. You aren't quite eventually, you are able to Uh, uh, um, let's see. You're able to find an application that works, focusing on a balance between erosion. Using a painting of river cutting through the earth and revealing a pristine material below. Crystals here. River cutting through through dusty earth as a component of your workings. Yep. Oh. Is it? What is the price on DMC5? Damn, it is really cheap. Damn. Okay, I'll have to go pick that up after stream. Eventually though, you're able to find application. Find an interpretation. Drawing the you also you let the yeah, I'm actually going to grab one of the bundles most likely because I really do want to play some of the older DMCs at some point. Yeah. You let the magic no before drawing it forth from the painting, watching as your creation shatters and shatters and crumbles to dust as the magic making up astral presence is forced out of its usual form. You drag it into You drag it into so you drag it into the complex weave of the different alignments, forming it into a cohesive whole. As you drag it into, as you continue to stir the vat of pure water, already imbued with your magic. Carefully you set it spinning. Almost kneading the new concepts into the substance. Into the substance, setting the vortex into motion, stabilizing the potion is not very tricky, but with all the failed attempts, success, you have gained You've had enough time to at least develop some basic skill in this field. Um, I don't know. Not for a little while, at least. Some basic skills in the field. Eventually. What results from your experiment is something that is fairly potent, able to work in small doses, so long as you can actually get focusing on a concept of sweat and the way that it is said to correct impurities from the body. Between the natural, so the nature the connection to water that brings this creation within your capability. I'll get it into the body. The sweat, so the concepts do need to move from within the body out to the outside. And the potion is able to carry along with it various unnatural concepts, allowing the body to, say, the host soul to reject the force infusion of helium and magic. Gas or mist-based application simply doesn't work, but it is concentrated enough that injections and even the use of it as a coating for other weapons is enough to trigger the effect. Uh, mm, that should be sufficient to deal with the threats you are facing. The first thing, you received word that the Forest King has made a push, against the Hyssop. Apparently, using a storm-based, ritual, similar to the one that you disrupted. While the information you have already shared with the country, so with the Lord Admiral, has allowed his forces to. Yep. Allowed his forces to disrupt the storm before it got too bad. It does seem that it has allowed the Forest King to break the kingdom's forces to break through the naval blockade and land their forces on the island. Um, all Russians invasion good aspected. Okay, and that is all for now. Shows that yeah, unfortunately it is almost 8. There's like another 10 minutes, and I can't really get much done for Mattis before then, so yeah. Cheers.